All right. My dear fellow listeners and viewers, good evening once again, and welcome to another edition of the Dr. Narine Dat Show. For those of you who have been watching us will know that we are here live on Sundays, usually starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And you will also know that the whole idea of the Dr. Narine Dat Show is to create a safe space for positive energy only. Keep in mind that there are a few different ways to listen to us. You can listen to us on the regular dial, that's the radio, 102.7 CKMS FM. You can listen to us on Rogers Digital Cable for those of you who have the Rogers Digital Box. And of course, we are also live streaming our talk show here. So we ask you and encourage you to share a page. We are very, I don't want to use the word picky, but we are very mindful when choosing our guests. And so it is very different than let's chit chat with Narine Dat. So let's chit chat with Narine Dat. It's all done. We have had a really good time, but now we are rebranding and we are very mindful when it comes to choosing our guests. So it means that we screen them well and we are, pick and choosing. I guess that's a fair word to use. And so this evening, it is my pleasure to introduce to you a very, very talented individual. He's no other than Kapa. I believe, hopefully I'm saying the name correctly, but he will fix that for us if I didn't get it right. And so, welcome to the show. How are you doing tonight, or this evening,
Ye-
rather?
Yes, sir. I just want to say welcome to you and your listening audience. Well, it's Kapa Shanti, and the acronym is kindly appreciate people and stop hating another nation. That's Kapa Shanti.
Kapa Shanti. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for that. So what we'll do, we want to make sure that we respect, every minute of your time. And so we will dive right into it. So what we'll do, we'll give you, a few minutes, and take your time to do it, right? Introduce yourself so that the, listeners and viewers who are watching now or who will be watching and listening later on can get to know you a little bit more. So take it away, introduce yourself to us, and then we will dive into your musical piece of thing. You've dedicated, some lyrics to some important, initiatives, so to speak. I want to ask you about that and kind of an overall update as well too from you will be awesome. So take it away, introduce yourself to us, and then we will dive into things.
Well, like I said, my name
Mm,
is Kapa
mm,
Shanti.
mm,
I was born in Georgetown, Guyana, and at tender age I moved to East Bank, because my family moved from Georgetown and like Essequibo and everybody moved to East Bank. So I just want to big up everybody from Craig. And from there, I came to the United States back in the late 80s. And I've been doing my thing ever since. Subsequently, from coming to America, I met my best friend who's from Jamaica, a place called St. Mary, popular. And back then, the dancehall scene was very vibrant, very, very,
mm, mm, mm,
very, very bright, very, very, vibrant. And me as a rookie
mm,
who couldn't even hold a microphone properly, I used to watch these guys and learn from these guys. And year after
mm,
year, I'm just trying to hone my skills, as this Guyanese artist who's trying to, you know, mold in with the crew who were all professionals. And, you know, they say practice bring perfect. And,
absolutely.
just kept getting better and better and better and better, you know, keep doing this one talent show and nothing came out of it. And then I did this next one, something came out of it. I started doing like big shows in colleges and just kept doing it. And that's how the brand Kapa Shanti kind of came about, slow by slow. But my main thing was perseverance. I just kept pursuing, me, like just pursuing my love for music. Because my grandma, God rest her soul, she always told me that I was singing ever since I was 2 years old. I would look at the moon and sing. So, music is in my DNA, you know?
That's awesome. Excellent. So, I mean, I've listened to your songs and whatnot, and that's one of the reasons why I've invited you in the show here. And so there are so much things I want to talk about, but I think I want to start off with something that I feel is very appropriate for us to talk about today. As you know, Adriana Young was put to rest today, and I'm talking about this for a reason because you've made a song dedicated, to the whole situation here. What was the motive behind that song, if you don't mind?
Well, you know, we all are human beings, and a lot of us are parents and stuff like that. So, and who is not parents is like, back to a human being, and we all have a conscience. So when I saw the unfolding, it was very shocking because our culture is not accustomed to stuff like that. The last time we had something of this magnitude was Jim Jones, so it's like we're not accustomed. So when everything unfolded, it was just so gruesome, and I kept replaying her laying by the pool, and the way how her dad just jumped in the pool and just grabbed her. And you know what? I was like, I gotta do something, man, because I've done so many projects previously in my career. I've done so many girl songs and girl videos and fun videos.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta do a song for this little 11-year-old girl, because it could be anybody child, it could have been anybody child in Guyana. So with the whole thing making world news, I just said, I gotta write a song, man. And it took me like a day just to write the first song. So when I went to my producer studio, I did the first verse on a different rhythm, but I wasn't feeling it.
Mm.
So I said, you know what? Change that beat and put a different beat on. So he subsequently put a different beat on, and it just started flowing. And I just asked God just to make everything flow. And the first verse came, I kind of freestyle it. And the hook, when the hook come, or when the hook came, I must say, I knew that I had something. I don't want to say special because it's
Mm-hmm.
like a bittersweet song. Something was good, but it just touched me in a different way, like it's just to see somebody daughter just laying there. And I just want to say rest in peace to young Adriana Young, and her parents. May God give them comfort in these trying times. And it's so ironic that they're burying their daughter as
Yeah,
we speak,
yeah,
and we have this interview on the same day.
yeah.
So I must say that's like a blessing in disguise, because like when you gave me the date, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
check down date of the burial.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, like everything just worked out perfect.
For sure. I will give you the opportunity, obviously, to add more, but what I would like to do, I would like to feature that song right now so that people can get to listen to it. And then when we come back, then you will, reflect a lot more. So, does that sound like a plan to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome, good. So let's do that. It's a beautiful song, and I mean it is for, sometimes as you would know, people write song for the sake of writing song, but this one definitely has a really good meaning to it, and so let's take the time to listen to it, enjoy it as well too. But we'll come back and we'll talk about this a little bit more. This song, our guest, he dedicated this song to the late Adriana Young, who happens to lay to rest at today. Very difficult situation, not only for the family, but for the entire nation, that's for sure.
Fly with the angels. Whoa, whoa. Diana, world of it. Oh, Lord. Now them kill the little youth for the riches. Dump the little child body in the ditches. When mama she ball and papa him cry, how can a human being be so wicked? When I witness the anguish by the poolside, my heart dropped to the ground with no pain inside. Complicit you were in hiding the crime. Now another youth gone and got it inside. When you cry, my heart cries. When you cry, I feel the pain. When you cry, my heart cries. When you cry, I feel the pain. You try send the people home so you can dispose of the evidence. Dirty Babylon, you don't have a child when you go home to in the evening and smile. How can you be so vile? For a couple extra dollars, you torture the 11-year-old. Blood sacrifice of that I am sure. How can you be so cold? What be unto your soul? When you cry, my heart cries. When you cry, I feel the pain. When you cry, my heart cries. When you cry, I feel the pain. Now them kill the little youth for the riches. Dump the little child body in the ditches. When mama she ball and papa him cry, how can a human being be so wicked? When I witness the anguish by the poolside, my heart dropped to the ground with enough pain inside. Complicit you were in hiding the crime. Now another youth gone, I'm gutted inside. When you cry, my heart cries. When you cry, I feel the pain. When you cry, my heart cries. When you cry, don't wanna shed another tear. When you cry, my heart cries. When you cry, I feel the pain. When you cry, my heart cries. When you cry, don't wanna shed another tear. At this point in time, we don't have any more tears to cry. We gotta stand up and fight. This song is dedicated to all of those who lost their life. Those two brothers in Linden. Stand up and fight. Stand up and fight for what's right.
All right. So there are a few things I want to say here before I get you to kind of respond. First of all, I didn't show the video, usually for a reason, but the song was very nicely done. I want you to say that you have a gift, by the way. You have a really good voice to sing the kind of song you sing, that's for sure. I want you to know that, right? And the fact that everything was done so quickly goes to show that you are a very talented individual. I want you to know that, right? Sometimes people don't recognize their own potential sometimes, but you have it going on for you. So I want you to kind of know that. So tell us more. I mean, that song is out there. I believe it was at least on the one YouTube channel that I've been looking at most recently, at least about over 26,000 people listened to that. That just one channel, obviously.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more. What was the the process of the production to put it all together? Yes, you wrote the song and all of that, but sometimes it can be a challenge to put it all together too, right?
Yeah. I mean, usually I would use my producer beat, and my producer is the same producer who made that TikTok rhythm with Adrian and Jomo back in the days. So he's definitely a legend, and I have to big up Mark Walcott. But it was such a program, I mean, that a song that I felt the need to rush it because, time was of the essence. So I basically got the beat out of my archive, I mean, it was just laying there for years and years. I don't know where it came from, but eventually I researched it and I contacted the other producer, and the rest is history. Music is life, and I strongly believe that when you do something with honesty and love, it comes through effortlessly. You know what I mean? Like when you fake stuff, it just don't happen. So music is my love, and I love to make people laugh and feel good, at my stage shows when I'm performing. So, the process was just it wasn't bad because the only thing is I had to take a big topic because there was so many things that happened and just break it down into two verses. So I had to just like consolidate the whole happenings, from the hotel to the riot and everything, and just break it down into two verse. So, you know, that's the magic of making music and shortening the whole preaching segment. Because you have some people who sing music and they would try to include everything talking fast, fast and jumbling up. But you got to know how to make it line by line and make it concise. So it wasn't that bad.
All right. So thank you so much for that. People are starting to respond because they're able to kind of connect with the meaning of the words. What is it that you hope for? Because obviously the song has a positive message to it, right? And I guess
Yeah.
is it fair for me to assume that you're a father? I don't want to do guessing game here.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
same here. I'm a
Yes, sir.
father as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
And I think you've nailed it when you were talking earlier, because
Mhm.
we all feel it in some shape or form, right? Because we have kids,
Yeah.
so we are able to kind of relate, because nobody wants to be in that situation, right? That's for sure. That's one of the reasons people were upset, people are angry, and still
Hmm.
people still are upset in different ways, right? So what is it that you hope for the song? Because I mean, it has a positive message. There's no question about that.
I must say that you asked the perfect question,
Mm,
man.
mm,
So I
mm,
gotta I gotta salute you for that. You know what I mean? I'm just hoping, cause okay, we growing up in in the mud, in Guyana, in GT. Um, and we have two major races. You know what I'm saying? We have
yep.
East Indians and we have black, we have Amerindians. I don't think it's six races because maybe it's actually four, because they would put like black mixed with with East Indian Douglas as a race, and that's not a race. But making long story short, we grew up and our next door neighbors is of like Indo-Guyanese, is of Afro-Guyanese. We would play as one. You know what I'm saying? We was granted that, it's
Mhm,
always gonna be
mhm,
racial tension
mhm,
because dogs hang with dogs,
mhm.
lions hang with lions, cat hang with cat. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And
Mhm,
and that's just like a natural thing, race wanna hang with their own people. And in nothing wrong with that. But what I want from this song and this whole thing that happened is that we live more in love and unity. Don't make politics
mhm,
get the best of us. Don't make money get the best of us. Don't make government and all these things get the best of us, because at the end of the day, we have to cohabitate, you know what I mean? And we are not wanted back in Africa as Afro-Guyanese and Indo-Guyanese. They can't just go back to India. All we know is Guyana. You know what I'm saying? And what are we gonna do without roti? What are we gonna do without curry? What are we gonna do without cook-up rice, pepper pot? You know what I'm saying? It's like a melting pot. So my thing is that I just want to see peace, because like as we can see with the discovery of oil around the world in the Middle East, it brought a lot of destabilization. And that's what's starting to happen in Guyana, and we don't want that, man. It's just too much of a tension. We want to retire and be able to move back to beautiful South America, and enjoy the nature. You know what I'm saying? The
mhm,
the the fish, the natural food, walk in the streets, you know what I mean? Just as how we young grew up.
mhm,
So that's what I want to see out of this. I just don't want to see Indian against black, black against Indian, because when I was growing up in Guyana, my best friend is an Indian kid.
mhm,
And my other close friend is a pilot right now at Ogle, and he's also Indian. And we grew up and went to the same school, and do the same thing. So I'm just tired of the whole stuff that's happening now. And we just need justice for all, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that. I'm sure that this song will really get people thinking because of the meaning of the words, right? And so thank you for doing that, and thank you for doing it so quickly. Because I mean, it goes to show that you felt that love, you had to get that message out quicker, sooner than later, and you've done that. So kudos to you for that.
Yes, sir.
So when it comes to different project from Kapa Shanti, what can we expect from you? What is it you have in store for us? I guess is what I'm asking you.
Well, speaking of both races, I just did a project with Terry Gadrach. It's a beautiful song, and I'm gonna have you debut it first, since you gave me the liberty of this beautiful interview from Canada to the United States. But we did this song about both races. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about African girls and I'm talking about Indo girls. So the song and the project is gonna drop next month. I'm assuming like the early part of next month. So that's the next thing coming. And I also have some other big things in store with Beanie Man, and my solo album and mixtapes and a lot of things in the making, but step by step.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I will be going back and forth in terms of what pops into my head and based on what people are sending me directly as well too. Because as we mentioned earlier, today happens to be the day where Adriana Young, was put to rest. You've dedicated a song, regarding the situation here, but also, if I'm not mistaken, you also were in New York City being part of that in that celebration of her life. Am I correct?
Yeah,
You were
yeah,
there too, right? Yeah. So what
yeah.
was that like? What was the experience like? Because a lot of people went to show their support. A lot of people wanted to, to just be there, right? And you were there. Obviously, I live in Canada here, and we try our best to kind of watch bits and pieces here and there on social media. But what was the experience like when you realized, like, look, there were tons of people came together, right, just to show their support for the family?
Um, it was actually surreal, because I saw them on TV, not even TV, on YouTube
Mhm.
and Facebook and all the social media
Mm.
outlets in Guyana. But like when I got the chance to see them in person and and give them my take of the song and have them listen to it in a live format, you know what I'm saying? It was just like a fulfillment for me. And, I felt so much gratitude, because you could see the sadness on the mom's face, and any moms who lose a child, or any father, you know what I'm saying? We got to come back to a human format again, man. You know what I'm saying? We just can't personalize this thing and
Yeah.
politicize it, It's just a parent losing a child, and it's just sickening, you know what I mean? But I was happy to see them in person, and it was an amazing stuff. It was just like it was all about love and showing a lot of support to the parents.
Thank you so much for that. So first of all, I want you to know that you have a good head in your shoulder there. I mean, we never really had the opportunity to speak this way, but I can tell that you're an educated man, which is a good thing.
Yes, sir.
Um, what advice do you have for people who cannot see things from the lens same as you and I, for example, right? Because as you know, there are lots of negativity going out, out there as well too. People talk about, the father and all of these types of things. We are seeing these things. It still happens as we speak. But it's very different when you are in the shoe of a situation and when you're not, right? And so only the parents, they can feel the pain, of losing a child. That's for sure. What advice do you have for people who are just kind of, speaking, just personalized things as you mentioned, and don't, know the whole details of things, but they just choose to really take the liberty really and try to have their 2 cents there, which is a bad thing actually, because the whole purpose of this show actually is to really create a safe space for positive energy only. So yes, what's your take on that, or what advice do you have for people who are kind of seeing it from a negative lens, so to speak?
I guess it's just a bunch of ignoramus, because it just making us as a culture look bad on the world stage. And these people got to realize, when you type certain things on social media and you try to put certain things on social media, it can't come back. So the crazy part of it, a lot of different islands, like friends who I know, and like close family friends who I know would have called me and asked me what is really going on in Guyana. Is Guyana that racial, and it would have to, it would put me on the spot, because when I talk with my Indian friends, them like close friends, people are just shame and embarrassed, you know what I mean? So those few ignoramus who are typing crazy stuff on the internet, and all these disparaging things, especially that girl or that young lady who wished the girl death, and bigging up the hotel and stuff like that. You have kids, and in every religion is something that's called karma. You know what I'm saying? So why would you do something like that, and you have kids of yourself? So the ignorance, it goes on social media, and other culture have to see us in this light, and they never seen us in this light before in the history of the golden arrowhead. So if you want to speak something, speak it behind your closed door. Speak it, but don't type stuff on
Yeah.
stupid stuff on social media and making your fellow Guyanese look bad. Like it's just Indians there and black there, you know what I'm saying? And I totally detest that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Absolutely makes total sense to me. So, my dear fellow listeners and viewers, for those of you who have just tuned in, do know that you're watching and listening to Dr. Narine Dat Show. Our guest this evening is Kapa Shanti, very, very talented Guyanese-born artist. Obviously, if you just tune in, you definitely missed the beautiful song we played that he wrote, dedicated to the late Adriana Young. So you will want to forward this back at the end of the show to take a good listen, or or you can also find it on YouTube on his channel. So that's easy. So that's no difficulties there at all. If you're listening to us for the very first time and watching us for the first time, keep in mind that there are a few different ways to do so. You can listen to us on a regular dial. That's 102.7 CKMS FM. You can also listen to us on Rogers digital cable for those of you who have the Rogers digital box. And of course, we're also live streaming our show here. So please take the opportunity to share our page. And so what we'll do now, Kapa Shanti, yes, you've dedicated, the song to Adriana Young, which was good on your end. But I also want folks to know that you've been, doing, the singing and the musical piece for a long time. And if it's okay with you, I will be featuring some other songs so that people get to know a little bit more about you, your musical piece. Right? Because listen to them, they're really, really good. That way they can know that you are very diverse, right? So that's okay. That's okay. That's awesome. Yeah, so I'll play another one here. And so I'm randomly picking them, so do enjoy.
Take your time and peel your pine.
I want to welcome you to my country, Guyana, 83,000 square miles. The only English-speaking country in South America. Sit back and enjoy. They're trying to mistreat you. They're trying to abuse you and even misuse you. But you always stand alone. The golden arrowhead. I love you. I love you. I adore you. I adore you. I respect you. I respect you. I will never forget you. You always on my mind. Sweet Guyana. as a matter of fact. Kaya and I shall always rest you on my back. You always on my mind. Guyana, always on my mind. No one forever, always on my mind. Land of many waters, always on my mind. Always on my mind. The greatest secret of my man birthplace, Burbage, Georgetown, the whole of East Bank, Linden, Bartica and Mahaika. Sweet like Guinea and Uwara. Take a nice swim in the black water. Watch the kids play with the grasshopper. Hopscotch, double dutch, I love so much. You always on my mind. Sweet Guyana, always on my mind. No one forever, always on my mind. Land of many waters, always on my mind. Always on my mind.
All right. So I mean, earlier you speak highly of Guyana. You talk about the possibility of maybe going back to retire in that beautiful country and all those types of things. So tell me a little bit about obviously the motive behind this song. I mean, at the end of the day, both of us are born Guyanese, and that connection, is there and will always be there. But I want to hear from you. What was the motive behind that beautiful song?
Well, you know, Adrian Dutchin, who's a counterpart of mine, and we we spoke over the years. We did a lot of projects over the year, and we were even in a group. And I heard his renditions of the Golden Arrowhead and a couple other artists from our culture who have done songs about the Golden Arrow. So I said, you know what? I want to do a song about my country, because I've never done one. And I just, you see, with these songs, you got to write the right words and say the right thing, because you can't say stupidness. A couple people
That's
gonna
right.
say,
Mhm.
is what this guy just said in this song right here. So I it took me 4 days to write this song. It was the longest song I've ever written. I mean, like in the length and the time span. And within that 4 days, I found myself like crying, because I would remember places that my grandma would take me in Georgetown on a weekend, and by the sawmill, by the big clock, shopping and walking these places. And then I start reminiscing about my grandma, God rest her soul. And I wrote it, and I actually recorded with my producer, who's the same Mark Walcott, and the rest is history. A lot of people loved it, and I garnished a great response from it. And I'm planning on writing a
Oh, nice.
second one, but this one is going to be more of a. I'm trying to figure out if it should be more of a up tempo or more of a dancehall. No, I mean like a reggae rootsy,
Mhm.
you know, because this one always on my mind is like an in between. It's still
Mhm.
good, but
Mhm.
it was nice one, so I got to make it nicer twice. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Absolutely. I like that. That's for sure. That's for sure. So when you're not writing songs and when you're not doing anything musically, so to speak, what is it that you do with your extra time? I know that's a tough question because we all have busy life these days.
Yeah. Well, during the process of doing my shows over the years and doing music, I was actually a union guy, and I'm one of the guys who actually helped to rebuild the world trade when the world trade got blown apart, and I helped to build, fix bridges in New York and stuff like that. and I was well known in my trade, so I'm kind of semi-retired from that, and music is my full focus. But in my spare time, I love nature. I love nature, of course, God come first because without God, nothing is possible. I love good food, man, and my mom's, as of recent, just introduced me to paku. You know what I mean? Because I never ate it before, and it looked like like a snake. So, like a snake head. So, she just introduced me to some paku soup, and I'm addicted to my paku. You know what I mean? Because yeah, yeah. So, just good food, just some good GT food, man, and just learning the culture and seeing what's going on, and um, because everything changes. It changes. The accent, from when I left back home back in the days, a lot of the lingua and the
Mhm.
slangs are changed, because we used to say body,
Yeah.
and now they say body, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it just life, just learning life, and being a good man.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Also taking care of my moms, because my mom's is getting younger as the days go by,
Mhm.
so I gotta make sure my mom's is good. The scripture says to honor your moms and your father. Hmm.
Well, you know what? You're giving us more than what we bargained for. I really like your style. That I can tell you, and I want you to know this because I can hear, the way you respond. I'm only telling you based on what I'm hearing and recognizing,
Yeah.
I have the third eye vision, Um, you know, to hear from you about the importance of recognizing that there's a higher power there. You talk about God, all of that. You talk about the importance of you know being there for your mom and all that. Those are powerful pieces, and I want you to know that.
Yeah.
And it's at the end of the day, it takes special people to think along that line.
Yes,
And
sir.
so I'm extremely pleased to hear those things, which is awesome. It goes to show that you came from a good, well, at least based on what you're sharing, looks like you came from a good household. It looks like you are, family oriented and all that, which is good. We need more of that in society because if people think along that line, then we will have less problem in society, right?
Of course.
Right? Because if we do our piece as individual, then we'll be awesome. But good for you, and don't slip off track because you are on the right track. I want to tell you that for sure.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
That's awesome. Good stuff. And so, as you would know, all of us go through challenges in our lives, right? But despite all of that, we can look back and be grateful for a lot of things in our lives. What would you say are some of the things you're grateful for in your life?
Repeat the last part of the question.
Yeah. So all of us go through challenges in life, right? At different times. But despite all of that, we can look back and we can still be grateful for many things in our life, regardless of how challenging our life may have been. What are some of the things you are grateful for in your life?
Um, well, I'm definitely grateful. Like backtracking, when I was 12 years old, I was in the bottom of a trench. Like all of my friends were swimming over, and I'm the only one that went down. So I went down like 20 something feet, and I held my breath. I thought, I just thought about my mom's. My mom's can't lose me, and then God float me right back up. So I'm definitely, I would always be grateful for that moment of God giving me a second chance. And then, I'm just grateful for being healthy, and seeing like my folks around me healthy and seeing people happy. Um, I thank God that when I came and I crossed the border, I never took the wrong path, because a lot of us who come here, we skylark, and then being that Trump is in office right now, they have to go into hiding, and then or get sent back. So I just thank God I always went the right way, and I followed the right path, and I'm definitely grateful for that, because there was a lot of temptation back then. Um and just, just thankful for being a human being and enjoying life, because life is everything. Wealth is nothing. Life is everything. Because you can be the wealthiest man on the face of the earth and you so damn unhappy. You know what I'm saying? So once you have spirituality and life, that's the most important thing, man. And friends and camaraderie, you know?
Excellent. Good stuff. I think the two of us will get along well. I like how you think.
Yes,
I
sir.
love it.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. So you did quite a few songs. I will feature a couple more, but I want to ask you something before I feature one of them. So you've done, the one with somebody else, Nesta. Like,
Right, Nesta.
yeah, yeah. Can we feature that one as well? Will that
Yeah,
be
yeah.
okay?
And
Okay,
she's a
but
very talented female Guyanese artist. Very
okay,
talented.
excellent. So we'll do that later on, but I want to feature one more where you it's entitled, I believe, No Money. And so I'm going to feature that one, and then after that I'll feature the other one with Nesta, and then we will kind of acknowledge that as well too, because that's important, right? She's not here, but we still want to kind of acknowledge that. So let me feature this one, and then we'll kind of take it from there. So to the listeners and viewers, enjoy.
Yes, sir.
Them run so, aye, aye. Oh, them still so them don't care for poor people at all. Kapa Shanti. No money they a make man a suffer. Food it rush about the minute and hour. Two things a run, the man them a go for. The same thing, hey we make out a chopper. No money they a make man a suffer. More than the youths them a cry from hunger. Can't even get a little poor man dinner. The politician don't even have an answer. Not necessary for them celebrate them anniversary. Pop champagne, patron it lavishly. While the big me a starving at the nursery. A cry bucket of water continuously. Mama do have a job while papa run left shit. We take care of this also responsibility. Left no option for prostitute our body. Sad ending to a saga you see. No money they a make man a suffer. Food it rush about the minute and hour. Two things a run, the man them a go for. The same thing, hey we make out a chopper. No money they a make man a suffer. More than the youths them a cry from hunger. Can't even get a little poor man dinner. The politician don't even have an answer. While the bad people have step on you, your faith in a jaja, him not love you. While them a drink with them condensed milk, you a drink rice milk and a full step too. No matter what they can't touch they beside you. If not love you, you read Psalms a day, even Mark and mature. By the Israelites, judge I go free you. Better must come, poverty run away. Better must come, poverty run away. Better must come, better must come, better must come. No money they a make man a suffer. Food it rush on by the minute and hour. Two things a run, the man them a go for. The same thing, we below a chopper. No money they a make man a suffer. More time the youths them a cry from hunger. Can't even get a little poor man dinner. The politician don't even have an answer. Not necessary for them celebrate them anniversary. Pop champagne, patron it lavishly. While the big me a starving at the nursery. A cry bucket of water continuously. Mama do have a job while papa run left shit. We take care of this also responsibility. Left no option for prostitute our body. Sad ending to a saga you see. No money they a make man a suffer. Food it rush about the minute and hour. Two things a run, the man them a go for. The same thing, hey we make out a chopper. No money they a make man a suffer. More than the youths them a cry from hunger. Can't even get a little poor man dinner. The politician don't even have an answer. While the bad people have step on you, no faith in a jaja, him not love you. While them a drink with them condensed milk, you a drink rice milk and a full step too. No matter what they can't touch they beside you. Him not love you. You read Psalms a day, even Mark and mature. By the Israelites, judge I go free you. Better must come, poverty run away. Better must come, poverty run away. Better must come, better must come, better must come. No money they a make man a suffer. Food it rush on by the minute and hour. No things a run, the man them a go for. The same thing, we below a chopper. No money they a make man a suffer. More time the youths them a cry from.
All right, so that was also beautifully done. So
Where did you find that song,
I know that one. It looks like it was done at least 11 years ago.
Yeah, man. That's like that's a Stone Age one,
But they all have good meaning to them, and it goes to show that you don't just write for the sake of writing, and that's what I kind of like. That I can tell you. So, what was the motive behind that?
It's just talking to the crooked politician and the poor folks having to work a 9 to 5 and still can't see the rent pay or food, like enough food or clothes for the kids to go to school. So the topics that I tend to touch on are very poignant topics in terms of the realistic way of life. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna give you like a facade, in a Benz car and driving and money waving at my ears like a cell phone and those things are just fallacy. So it was just basically about life. Just they want us to vote and they keep coming around like every election time and say vote, 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 and as soon they get into office is a different breed, man. You want to know if it's the same person who came begging you just to vote?
And it happens everywhere, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, so thank you so much for that. I mean, if all of us do a little piece, because keep in mind, even though, you put your thoughts, on paper and then you put it into a song, you may not get to know the actual impact, but as people listen, people think, we have a lot of smart people out there.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
want you to know that. So people might not necessarily reach out to you and kind of say anything, but if you continue to write good lyrics, do know that it's going to be extremely impactful in a positive way. So continue along that line.
For
Um,
sure.
yeah, for sure. And so before I feature the other song, though, the one with Nesta, is there anything you want to share about her? How did that came about in terms of you working together, for example?
Nesta is a good label mate of mine, and she's also one of the best songstress in Guyana. So, for your listening audience, you could Google or YouTube Nesta,
Mhm.
Nesta Nelson, Nesta Nelson. And her mom's was one of the best music teacher in Guyana. She actually retired
Oh,
as
wow.
as the top music teacher. And Nestor brother is also a top male musician in Guyana. His name is Mark Batson. So she basically came from a musical family, and the song is basically it's pertaining to love. You know, if you're away and I'm here, we still connected, and I don't have to worry about you going outside the relationship or the marriage because we still connected. So that's what the song is basically about and what we wrote the song about. Like I said, there are realistic things in life because time after time, a lot of people would go away and they would get like misconstrued and people would come up putting in their head,
Mhm.
oh, she's doing something over
Mhm.
there or this person is doing something local, and then the relationship is over.
Mhm.
So the song is about a contract that we made, and we're gonna keep that contract. Even if I'm away, we still connected.
Awesome. Good stuff. Awesome. Good stuff. That's
Yeah.
excellent. We'll feature that in a minute or two. But while I have you on here, over the years, obviously, um, I I'm assuming that people may have helped you along the way to get to where you're at right now, whether that be, your love for music, whether that be your career professionally and whatnot. Do you want to take the opportunity to give a shout out or kudos to, one or two people who may have kind of helped you bridge some gaps over the years?
Yeah. I just want to say big up to um Chopper Ranks, and he was an instrumental part in my career because he had a sound system back in the days. He's of Jamaican or
Mm-hmm,
like
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
of Jamaican
Yep.
origin. And also big up Popular, who was also instrumental. Fredlock, Saya, Chicken, um, and countless of others who kind of inspire me. I just want to say big up to Shabba Ranks, who totally inspire me to pick up a microphone. You know what I'm saying? And my late grandma, Carmen Clark, my mom's, my brother, everybody who played an intricate part in my musical journey. And when you're a musician or like a singer per se, that's not a temporary job. That's a job for life. You know, a true musician keeps singing and, you know, you never stop doing music. And also, most importantly, I want to big up God because without God, I would have no voice to sing. I would have absolutely no talent. So just thank God just for blessing me. And also nature, because when I look at nature, that give me a lot of vision to write. And a lot of times when I'm driving, stuff would come in my head, you know. So nature is definitely an intricate part in my stuff, you know what I mean? You know, life, liberty, you know, plants, animals, people arguing, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Awesome. No,
Yeah.
and thank you so much for sharing that with us. So, are you still connected with Shaba Ranks?
Um, I've met him twice,
Okay.
but I don't know him personally, but you know, I
Mhm.
even thanked him for inspiring me to pick
Yeah,
up the microphone in
yeah,
totality. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't
absolutely.
no other dancehall artist that inspired me or any other musician. And me and my grandma back in the days when she was alive used to sit down and watch those TDK cassette with Shabba Ranks
Yeah.
live. And my grandma used to be like, man, that man could proper wine.
Hmm.
You understand?
Hmm.
So it's
Hmm.
like his whole demeanor
Hmm.
inspired me to pick up the microphone,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. I only asked because those are big names, right? So thank you for
Huge
sharing.
names, huge
Yeah, yeah,
names.
yeah. So thank you for sharing that with us. So what would you say are some of the biggest compliments you have gotten over the years for the work you've done, whether that be musically or otherwise?
Well, a lot of folks say I'm a very great performer. Um, I come to a stage show and I come to please people. I'm not
Mm.
gonna sing opera music when I'm on the stage or you know music to stand up in one place. So I'm a great performer and you know they love my voice. You know they say I have a very unique voice.
Yeah.
Um, and folks just love my total package because you know I'm real. I'm as real as they come. So I've gotten a lot of compliments um for being I truly who I truly am, which is a naturally honest and real person on stage, you know. I don't have any time to like fake anything and you know, I tell you as it is
Mhm.
and sing it as it is, you know.
And thank you. And thank you for being honest and open on the show here. Do know we recognize that and we appreciate it. So let's say you were given the opportunity to start life all over again. Will you change anything at all or will you continue on the same way?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I would definitely I would have definitely became a medical doctor because I wanted to be a medical doctor ever since I was a little boy. It's just it's just something with that title, DR. Um, yeah. And you know, I have to big up my mom who is a retired head nurse.
Mhm.
But it's just the passage of times and different moves you take in life, and you know, at
Absolutely.
you know, life, or you may be walking a straight path,
Yeah.
and then you have to make a detour because you see a wolf ahead or a
Mm.
lion.
Mhm.
So you have to run and make a detour, and then, but I would have definitely became a medical doctor, and when houses were very cheap in New York, I would have bought 20 of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, just you know, those things are man-made materialistic things, but you know, those things I would have definitely done.
No, for sure. I mean, it goes to show that we are all more knowledgeable now through experience, right? Nobody knew all of these things was going to happen. Same thing here in Canada. it is much more difficult for young folks to start a life now on their own in terms of buying a house and all of that, right? 20 years ago, it was very different, was much easier, all of that. So
Of
I
course.
totally hear you. You know, you brought up a good point here. That's for sure. So what I'll do, I'm gonna feature this Not a Beautiful Song of yours, and with let me make sure I get a name right here. Yeah, Nesta. And then when we come back, any any other last minute thing you would like to share with your share with our viewers and listeners, it's gonna be a good thing to do. All right. So to the viewers and listeners, do enjoy this beautiful song by our guest here and another talented artist from Guyana, or Guyanese born rather, Nesta. So enjoy.
Yes, sir.
Love on me. Oh, Nesta.
I'm Kapa Shanti.
Even if you're away, 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 we still connected. I'm so devoted to you. Even if you're away, 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 we still connected. I'm so devoted to you. So many reasons. I want your love in more every season. Moment shared, I adore. Mood is right. Candlelight. I'm living for this.
You never have to ask, my girl, I'm there to your beck and you call those months and years. But since we apart and the good time we share, I'm missing you more than life, I swear. I'm counting the days we gonna link up again. I know you're gonna keep it for me till the end. Shit, now you know your vocabulary, loyal girl, don't say party, soon do proposal.
Even if you're away, 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 we still connected. I'm so devoted to you. Even if you're away, 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 we still connected. I'm so devoted to you. Alright, I'm grateful for living my best life that I always want. Baby, I like the way you hug me up. You're laughing at me, you're up. Ease my troubles away.
Take it to a level, my girl, my girl. Me a spend up me money on you, my girl. No come a full stop or hyphen can come between us. This father don't bless it up, bless it up. So nobody can stress it up, stress it up. There is another thing I wanna highlight. We never had a argue, we never had a fight. I can sing this loud on the mic.
Even if you're away, 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 we still connected. I'm so devoted to you. And if you're away, 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 we still connected. I'm so devoted to you.
I love this.
All right. So not a beautiful one, by the way. So
Oh yeah.
thank you for kind of acknowledging Horizontal to Nesta for doing that piece with you. You've obviously mentioned a little bit about the song before we played it, but is there anything else you would like to add? Anything else came to mind that you would like to add while
Well,
we're here?
well, for those who didn't get the first verse, it says, "You never have to ask, my girl, I'm there to your beck and your call those months and years. But since we apart and the good time we share, I'm missing you more than life, I swear. I'm counting the days we gonna link up again. I know you're gonna keep it to me. No, I know you're gonna keep it for me till the end. Sheet not in your vocabulary. Loyal girl, don't say 40. Soon do proposal, you know? So I just had to break down the first verse. And it's like about life. Don't cheat. Come back in one piece. Come back in one piece, baby. I love you.
Awesome. And I like
Yeah.
how you remember that lyrics, and you kind of you really enhance the interview by really doing it that way. So that's awesome. So I want
Yeah.
you to know, Kapa Shanti, that it was such of an honor to have you on here. I want you to know that even when we started to kind of make arrangement to have you on, even the way you're corresponding, It was very, very professional. I was able to see how much you appreciate us, wanting to do this, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You stay committed for us to do this and all of that. And again, it comes back to you in terms of who you are as a person. And I recognize that. I appreciate that. Um, for those of you, I mean, you don't know us that well, but become part of our family, so to speak. Right? So you never knows when, we might meet each other and whatnot. Do know that we are always here. We all have our own unique skill set where we can, somehow support each other to grow. Right? So we are here. Do know that. I'm now giving you the opportunity to share any last minute thing that you wanted to share, but I didn't ask you, or something came to mind, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, this is a really good time to do so. Take it away.
Well, I'm just gonna get back on the topic of our homeland,
Mm-hmm.
and hmm, I just want to see, I just want to see it go back to normal and everybody just cohabitate, and because like you say, that's our retirement home, man, and we already have Venezuela to deal with. We already have these folks that wanna take Essequibo and these greedy people. So we already have outside people to deal with, and then all of these scavengers coming in, and they're getting their share, and and they want to just take stuff and go, and our native people, we need to love us, love us Guyanese first, and because we have a beautiful, spacious country, and some great people came from Guyana, some very, very great people on the world stage. And I'm noticing as of lately, a lot of folks is like picking up that Guyanese banner. So let's do it for the good and not for the bad, because we just don't want to see Guyana with like the bad news that make world news, because folks always say, oh man, Guyana is always getting into bad stuff and they're making headline news with the bad stuff. Let's make headline news with the good stuff, man. Good music, good cultural stuff, you know, chicken curry, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not curry chicken. You know, let's be loving as we are, because we are a loving, because currently Guyana is the breadbasket for music. Every dancehall artist, every reggae artist, they come there and it's like the breadbasket. So let's live in love, and nothing like the golden arrowhead, man. Nothing. And I just want to say to all your listeners, them you could follow me, Kapa Shanti, KapaShanti, and stay tuned for good stuff. Stay tuned for the project that I will be coming in. We're actually coming out with next month with Mr. Godrach. It's gonna be an incredible project, nice video, well put together, and it's highlighting both races, East Indians and Black.
That is awesome. But I wouldn't let you off the hook as of yet. You mentioned something interesting. You said that you would like to see Guyana get back to normal. What do you mean by that?
Well, normal as in I'm not liking what I'm seeing on the
Mhm.
internet
Yeah.
because I'm starting to feel like I'm living, you know, these things only happen in America. You know what I'm saying? With the division, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I'm starting to see that in Guyanese culture, and I'm starting to see heartlessness in Guyanese culture. We always been some tough people, because Guyanese are tough by nature, you know what I mean? And we grew up tough. But I just don't want to see the innocence of our culture go away. You know what I mean? I want to see kids walk the street innocent, you know what I mean? Like an innocent still. And I want to see people with less slurs and less slander on the internet, because it's very sickening, It's very, very sickening. So I want us to go back to normal. Hope this can happen, I just hope it's not far-fetched, but I would love to see us as a culture. Just travel on the plane, go back home, enjoy, come back. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry with the extra stuff. You know?
Sure, for sure. And when was the last time you went there?
I was there, I would say 4 months back.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, yeah.
Very
Because,
recent.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah. Because I have, I have my businesses
You have stuff
and
happening
stuff
there.
like that.
Oh, that's awesome. Good stuff. That's good to know. That's good to know. We are gonna connect, obviously, off the camera and whatnot. So, my dear fellow listeners and viewers, as we are officially approaching the end of the program, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for tuning in to the Dr. Narine Dat Show. On behalf of myself and our very special guest here tonight, Kapa Shanti, both of us would like to join together and wish you a great today and even a better tomorrow. We'll talk to you soon.
Bam.